Let's pick it up here. Pastor Mukhuba from the United Fellowship Church has appeared in court this week. In fact, just yesterday she was in court after she was charged with attacking a police officer, malicious damage to property, public violence and contravention of the Disaster Management Act. The pastor, speaking earlier this week at another court appearance, told congregants who'd come out to support her that the country is facing a crisis of police brutality, with police using excessive force against unarmed, peaceful citizens. That came after her congregants and a number of police officers clashed during a Sunday service where the church is accused of having made a noise that then sparked a complaint from the local community. Now, the church is also accused of contravening lockdown rules by having way beyond the stipulated number of congregants attending its services. The congregants claim they were ambushed by the JMPD, Joburg Metro Police, who came into the church and allegedly started firing rubber bullets at women and children, among other people. For more on this, then, we're joined by Pastor Mukhuba from Unity Fellowship Church herself. Pastor, very good evening to you. Thankful for your time tonight. Let's go back a few steps. This matter goes back to February. What happened on that day that all of this kicked off?
Good evening to you, and good evening to all those who are watching. On the 28th of February 2021, JMPD police came and they said that they were responding to a noise complaint. And after that, they came with many vehicles, and they shot quite a number of our congregants. Close to 40 people got seriously injured, including pensioners and children. They also shot at camera people. In fact, one guy who was taking photos was shot 6 times, and a rubber bullet got lodged on his lower back. It was removed from his body in hospital. They came in and they were shooting randomly. So they were insulting people all over the yard. When people were praying, they were responding with firing their guns at them and insulting, mocking. And after that, they arrested 7 of us. Mm-hmm. And we were taken to Moroka police station. And at the police station, they continued with what they were doing. There were 3 officers who assaulted us even there at the police station. One pushed me when I was just asking what was I getting arrested for, because I was not told when we left the church. And another guy who tried to shield me was hit, and he was badly injured because they jumped up on his chest and even on his head, and there was blood everywhere. And this was at a police station with police officers being there too.
Okay, I want to come in there, Pastor.
We were there at the police station.
Allow me to come in there,
Yes.
Pastor, because we've got very limited time. As things stand, have you reported the members of the JMPD, or at least their conduct, to IPID, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate?
Yes, we did that about a month ago.
And what was the response?
They came, the investigating officer came last week, and even this Tuesday to take statements.
All right. Now, here's the issue. The JMPD, in what's been reported in the media, says this. They say men from your congregation were aggressively thumping on their vehicles on the day that all of this happened. So they are basically saying that when they went into your church, they were not dealing with a passive crowd. In fact, they were met with aggression by members of your church. Is that true?
The videos of the event or of the incident are available on social media, YouTube. They are available everywhere. everybody who is able to see that, and people were watching online that day, they were watching TV, they saw.
But I'm asking you, with respect, ma'am, I'm asking you specifically for those who've not seen the video. Were men in your church aggressively thumping on JMPD vehicles when all of this was going on?
I don't know about that, really.
How do you not know, ma'am, if you were just referencing video? So surely if you have such clarity of memory with all the other incidents, you should remember if your congregants were also violent on the day.
I haven't seen any men stamping on vehicles. I didn't see that.
Were there 2,000 people at your church service that day in contravention of lockdown rules?
No.
How many people were at the service?
Hello?
How many people were at the service on that day, ma'am? Pastor?
I cannot hear you.
How many people were at your service the day the JMPD arrived and basically shut it down? Were there 2,000 people inside your building that day?
No, the photos of the building are even available to show that there is nothing like that.
How many people were there, if not 2,000?
No.
How many were there, ma'am? Do you not know?
I said no.
All right, let's talk about something else that you said. You've been referencing video. There's video circulating of you speaking at, I believe it was a service, and I want to bring up the quote just so some of our viewers can get a sense of what you said on the day, and I want your thoughts on this. You say, Lord, deal with their families, kill them one by one, let them die. Today we say, no mercy, let them die. Why would you say such a thing?
I would say that that prayer have been spoken about more than the brutality the police showed at church, more than the bullets that penetrated the bodies of worshippers who were not violent, who were just worshiping God. Our crime was to worship God. And I would say to anyone who's focusing on that prayer that if the enemies come into your house and they want to rape your children, you are faced with heavily armed people who are coming to kill your children, who are violent towards you, and you are there. What are you going to do when somebody wants to rape your child in front of you, when somebody wants to kill your wife in front of you? Are you going to just turn another cheek? At least I'm a woman. I only prayed. If it was a man, they would have picked up their guns and retaliate.
With respect,
at least I just said, let us focus on praying to God.
With
and that
respect,
is what we did.
I personally have not denied you the opportunity to speak about the brutality because that's where we started from. And you said that IPID is investigating the conduct of the JMPD. I'm now talking to you about this prayer where you are on video saying, let them die, kill them all, in an already inflamed situation. Do you think today that that was a responsible prayer to put out before a congregation where emotions were clearly running so high already?
And if you go and you check where you found the video of the prayer, you will hear that I'm the one who pulled the situation by saying, focus on prayer. And I kept on saying, do not do anything. Let them do what they have come to do. Don't commit any crime. Let our crime be prayer. Don't fight. And those are the words that were said repeatedly. And as a result, people focus on praying. The prayer saved the day because God responded and protected people who were supposed to get injured seriously, because you could see that the aim of that day was to kill everyone. So the prayer that was prayed saved the day, and what I said saved many people, because then JMPD was never attacked by anyone.
But, ma'am, to be fair, you may not have directly said to your congregations, attack the police, but the police say they were attacked. But anyway, back to your prayer. Your prayer does not just stop at saying, let's plead to the Lord for protection. You say, again, they leave criminals in the streets, they come to church, they come to people without guns, they want to destroy people without guns. Lord, deal with their families, kill them one by one. At a very basic level, that doesn't sound like the most Christian response to such a volatile situation.
It depends on how one reads his Bible.
So you think it was responsible of you to pray that prayer on the day?
Then we are saying now we are putting the Bible in question, because go and check the Bible from the beginning and just read it. You are going to find so many prayers there. And I don't think that we should be subjecting prayer unless if we are prosecuting people now for prayers in our country.
Okay.
Then we are going to say, really, we are starting to get arrested for prayers, whereas those who are perpetuating acts of criminality are free. Those who come to church and abuse power, because really at Unity, we have been abused over a long period of time. JMPD is always at church. They came inside in 2015 and stole many churches. So our church have been under attack for a very, very long time.
And again, I'm not going to dismiss your complaint, which you said that members of your church were attacked by officers and that this is now being investigated. And it does need to be investigated because we're never going to condone police brutality. At issue now is the fact that even though you are a church, if the lockdown rules stop all of us from doing certain things, do you agree that you too as a church and as a religious leader are not above those rules and you cannot have services that are larger than what's stipulated by the rules?
You are so correct. That is why from the beginning the police have been coming to our church, because our church is always targeted. They've been coming to our church all the time. Whenever they would come, they would find that we are complying, and they would come even when we are broadcasting from home. Even when I'm broadcasting alone, they would come and say that they were told that there were many people, and they would take photos. They've got those photos. And even that day, they never came into our building. They came to the street and said that there is a noise complaint. And I even went outside. So if there was anything that involved the Disaster Management Act, the leader of the church went outside. They wouldn't have passed me there in the street kneeling in front of them. If it was about that, they would have spoken about me, because Disaster Management Act has got a way. There are stipulations on how to address Disaster Management Act violations. So if it was about that, they would have spoken to me and they would have followed the rules that they're supposed to follow.
Why do you think they're targeting you, ma'am?
That day had nothing to do with disaster management. The disaster management was said when they were fabricating charges in the evening at Moroka police
Pastor
station.
Mukhuba, we're running out of time. I just want to give you a chance to explain why you think then that your church is being targeted repeatedly, as you're saying.
Okay. From the time we moved here to Midway, the city of Joburg had always been sending JMPD, trying to bully us out of the land that we purchased. They even got a court order that spoke to the demolition of our church, and it got turned by the appeals court. Every day they would say that they are coming to demolish the church, because what happened is that we are near a residential area where it was supposed to be a buffer zone. We are in an industrial area, and there are houses that are built in a buffer zone. So when complaints started, the city of Joburg didn't want to deal with the fact that they created a problem. They decided that they were going to bully the church out of its premises. The premises that we own, we have got title deeds. And they got that court order without us being served properly, and they wanted to demolish our church, which culminated to the event of 2015, where they came and stole chairs. 2,000 chairs were taken, and only a few came back. We are still missing 1,300 chairs. And these fights have been going on and on with them coming to church every day. It's not only that we have got court cases that are there at court. We even bought land trying to relocate the church, because we don't want these fights as a church of Jesus Christ. We want to pray to God peacefully so. But even that process of rezoning the land took forever. They were putting hurdles on the way. Whereas we said, even though you created a problem, we want to solve the problem for you. we are buying land so that we relocate the church. And they were told even by Parliament, a portfolio committee, to say that help the church to relocate. But it took forever for them to approve the relocation.
All right. Pastor, good to speak to you. We're going to get the JMPD on to hear their side of the story. And as soon as they're available, we'll bring that conversation to our viewers. For now, thank you so much for being on eNCA tonight.